Alrighty, so today we're going to be working on the pendulum, and the first step is I'm going to be showing you how to put your nuts onto the paper clips so that we can have them as weighted measures. Okay, so the first step you want to do is you want to take your paper clip and you want to unfold it outwards so that it makes a letter L. Okay, you're going to unfold it till it makes a letter L. Then you're going to take your thumb and go down, measure down the big side until you get to the end of the open part of the paper clip. And from there, you're going to bend that piece so that you have a crease there. Once you bend that piece, you'll work on unbending the other side of the paper clip until you get to the point where your paper clip looks like a set of bunny ears where there's a flat piece on the bottom. That's what we're looking for. Okay? Once you have that, you will take the smaller ear and bend it in towards the larger one so that it starts to build a triangle shape, in which case you'll take the longer side and bend it outwards. Once you have started making this shape now, your end shape should look like some sort of triangle, like a rounded corner triangle. But the big important part is that this piece on the bottom is nice and flat. Okay, once we have that, you can take your nut here and just push it through one of the sides, and it should hang nice and easy like that so that it's free-flowing, rotating, and you can very quickly find the center of gravity. All right, you're going to be doing this to all of your nuts. So I've already done that to a few more here. They don't have to all be the exact same triangular shape, but it should be the general shape that we have there. All right, the next step is we're going to take our string and tie a knot onto the end of the string so that we can hang the weights from. Okay, first thing I want you to do is take the end of the string and fold it halfway so you can get like a nice letter U, like so. Okay, you'll pinch that together and we're going to loop it around itself. Right, similar to like tying your shoes, we're just looping it around itself so that we get a double loop. All right, once you have that double loop, you're going to take your original loop and bring it through the center there. Okay, so once again, we're taking our double loop there, and we're bringing the original loop through the center. Okay, now we're going to hold on to this side and our single loop, and we're going to tighten them together. All right, so it's just as easy as that. I made a larger size loop for the purpose of this video, but for the pendulum, a size loop about this would work just fine. Okay, the next step is we're going to take the empty pen barrel that should have come in your packet and take the end of our string that doesn't have the loop on it, and we're going to feed it through the pen barrel. So we're going to feed it through the front of the pen. Okay, it might be a little difficult because your string might be frayed like ours is here. That's no worries, you just give it a twist and then pinch it. Okay, and you just start pushing it through. All right, it's going to go all the way through the barrel. Just keep feeding it through. Once it gets to the other side, now you can pull it the rest of the way. You put your knot on the end already, so it should get caught on that end. Okay, you lay your string out on the table. Now we're going to be taping things down to the table. So first piece we're going to tape down is our protractor here so we can see the angles. All right, we'll take a piece of tape, stick it here so we'll have it ready in a moment. Then our second piece of tape. Okay. We're going to find a nice flat, like straight across section of our table, and we're going to just line up the protractor edge right to the edge of the table. Okay, when we do that, we'll take our pieces of tape and just tape down the edges. just like that. The last step is take another piece of tape here, and we're going to tape the barrel down to the table. So we want the barrel to go straight back and align with the center of the protractor. You see the protractor there? And we want it to come off the table just a little bit to reduce friction, okay, to allow gravity to do its job. I'm just gonna tape that down to the table. I'm gonna use 2 pieces of tape just to make sure it's secured. All right, and now we have our setup for our pendulum. For our next step, we're going to take our tape measure and we're going to attach that to the rest of our pendulum. Take a small piece of tape, put it on the centimeter side of the tape measure, because that's how we're doing our measurements. Just a little bit right at the top. And we're going to go around to the edge of the table here. And just let the rest of the tape measure drop. And you're going to be taping it to the edge of the table, right? So that you know that 0 centimeters is right here at the edge, just where the protractors are. Okay, take the rest, toss it back. Next, we're going to take our string with the knot tied on the end and one of our nuts that are already prepared with the paper clip there. And we're going to attach the string to the weight. So you're going to pick the larger of the 2 sides of the paperclip part, and you're just going to loop the string over the top of it, like so. When you have it that way, now the weight will hang freely. Don't let it go, because if you let it go, it might pull all the string out and you'll have to string it through again. What we're going to do here is we're going to measure it using our measuring tape to the center of gravity, which the center of gravity is in the center of the nut, right? Because there's even weight all the way around. So your packets will have the listed pendulum lengths that you're going to be experimenting with, but for our purposes, we're going to do about 30 centimeters. All right, so for 30 centimeters, you're going to go to the center of gravity of your weight, right? That's not the top here, that's not here at it's the center of gravity where everything pulls together. So the nut is very heavy and it will be in the center of the nut. So the empty space of the nut is where you want to go. All right, so we measure about 30, okay? And we're going to then take our free hand and pull the string back until it is taut, and then you can let go of the nut while holding on to the string and see that the length is now at about 30. All right. The next step that we're going to do is take a piece of tape and we're going to put the tape down to hold our string in place. Okay, you might require multiple pieces of tape just to make sure. The last thing we're going to do is, if we wanted to add on more weight, like a second or third nut, what we would do is we would take our pendulum and just like before, we would just push that through. The important part here is that now that you have 2 pieces of weight on the end, the center of gravity will be different. For example, if they sit like this, the center of gravity will be in between the 2 nuts. So you wouldn't measure from either side and measure from in between. If they ended up sitting like this, back to each other, like that, it would be somewhere in the middle of the 2 of them because of the weight that they carry. Now that we have the pendulum all set up, I'm going to show you how to take measurements and make adjustments to our pendulum. So the first thing we're going to do, that we already have the 30 centimeter length, is we're going to just set the tape measure on top of the table so that it's out of the way. The next part, if we had an angle that we wanted of say 60 degrees, we know that if our starting angle is measured at 90 here, the starting angle needs to go to 60. So 90 minus what gives you 60? That's 30 degrees, right? So about there, okay? Now we want to make sure that our pendulum is parallel to our table so that it doesn't touch the protractor or anything else. If it does touch, it means that your pendulum isn't parallel, so it's not getting the correct measurement for you. So we want to measure things in full cycles. So a cycle is like a circle. You have to start and end at the same place. So when I let this pendulum swing, you're going to see what one cycle looks like. Ready? Go. And that there was a full cycle. Thanks so much for watching.